Hey, Ramon here, how you doing guys? And here we are with a Coodercaster guitar, which has kind of been my mainstay for many years now, 15 years or whatever. But this guitar has seen many necks. Many necks have come and go. Now the neck I had for the longest period on this guitar was this neck. And this originally was made for me about 10 years ago to be a Stevie Ray Vaughan style neck with big and fat, with the big jumbo frets and the nice gold tuners, etc. And this was living on this guitar for about 10 years on and off, and I never really sort of gelled with this neck on this instrument, and the reason why was because it was a bit narrow. Okay, so the strings were a little bit too close together. So to quote Ry Cooder says that his neck has got really nice width to it, so it's probably going to be between 42mm and 44mm. Sorry, I can't tell you that in inches, but that's kind of the measurement I'm thinking his neck is. And this is 42mm, maybe just a tad wider, but it's around 42mm, so nice width here. But along here, it goes up quickly, so it becomes a little bit wider here, around the 5th and 7th fret, quicker than say this neck, which this neck kind of is just under 42mm and then just stays narrow right up. So that's why the strings sort of are quite close together on that neck. This neck, however, beautifully made neck, possibly the best Stratocaster neck I have ever had my hands on. I know that's saying a lot, but that's actually true. So it's got a nice sort of spread on the strings, and the nut is cut really effectively just to spread those strings out, because as you can see, the strings, when it meets this pickup, the Valco pickup, okay, this is an original by the way, when it meets that, it's got to go over, it's got to go pretty much on these holes that you see here. It's not going to be exact, especially this E string, it's not going to be exactly in line, but you want to get it as close as possible, okay? There is a reason for that. Anyway, let's talk about the action, because this video is really about the action. It's 3 minutes and we haven't really talked about the action. So what action should you need? Well, you've got a few options. You can put what's called a neck shim. And let me just see if I've got one here. So initially when this guitar was made many years ago, even got the date on this, this was actually inserted between the neck and the body just to raise that action a little bit, so you can kind of see the depth of that shim. But I kind of discarded this because I found that as I got better with my slide I could have the action lower. But so I've just literally just put this neck onto the body, and I'm going to just show you how I get, because people are saying, you know, what is the string height? I'm going to show you exactly how I do that, because I'm certainly no sort of technical expert, I'm no luthier, but I just do it by feel. So I've kind of more or less, I've bolted the neck on and I've kind of tweaked it a little bit here, and I'm using this Allen key, okay, and as you can see, this is a standard Stratocaster style saddles. These are Callahan, by the way, because back in the day on the gear page that's what everybody wanted. And I'm just going to insert this Allen key. I insert it sort of this way rather than the sort of that way. I don't know if you can see that. And I'm just, no, you got to be careful, because you can run out of thread if you have it too high. But I'm just going to raise these a little bit, and you can see how, I want to show you how I do this, guys, because you're going to see exactly how I tune the action into my own playing style and ability, you see. So what you've got to remember is that if this is still too low, then that's when you can kind of turn to the neck shim. Or if when you build your guitar, the saddles are sort of maxing out and you need just a bit more height, that's when you can use that that neck shim to even things out a little bit. You can also remember there's kind of saddles for your the screws for your saddles. You can get there's two different lengths of saddle. You've got the shorter ones, which are normally used on the E string, and then you've got the higher ones, which are normally used on the thinner strings, as far as I know, I'm aware. So you can kind of change the saddle height screws. You can swap them out if you need to have more extra length. Now what I'm going to do now is just tune this instrument because it's going to be out of tune. Okay, so now I've got my guitar in tune, guys. Now what I do is to make the final adjustments, because I've pretty much got it to the height I want. Also, you've got to bear in mind that you don't want to be hitting the top of this plate here. So if you have them too high, especially, you're going to rattle. So there you can see I'm rattling that E string, so that E string's got to come down. You can actually hear it hitting against the plate. So let's take that E string down, but it's actually tuned to a D. So there we go, and we can tune that up. Okay, so we go it's still quite high. But because I do tend to hit it on some songs. So I do hit the guitar quite hard on some songs, I do. So that's pretty much it. Now the main string, when you're tuning this guitar up, the main thing is the G string, which is tuned to F sharp, obviously. And the way I do that, maybe that lick. Let's take the overdrive off. Hear that? So that G string's got to come up, okay? So I know you're thinking, why do I want to watch a video with Goose just tuning his instrument up? Because I get asked, guys, so many times, how do you set the action for your Coodercaster? And this is how I do it. That's how you basically do it, is you just play your instrument, and you want to see if you can fret the actual notes. If you can't fret the notes, that means that your action is too low. Again, with my B string, and that's nice. Put some overdrive, and there you're not going to be fretting out. And that's really how you want to be tuning your instrument. Is getting an Allen key. Once you put your neck on the instrument, do your basic setup. Okay, basic setup. Even if it's low, doesn't matter. And then start playing some licks, and you can kind of see. You've obviously can't max it out because you're going to hit the plate. But you can kind of see how I'm doing this. I'm playing, and I'm doing it by feel more than measurement. Okay. Okay, so that's fine now. I can play that. It's pretty much there. Maybe a little bit more tweaking, because with temperature, the action can kind of wobble a bit, and also your playing technique. You might have a bit of an off month, and you're not playing so well. You're making mistakes, so you want to have the action. Maybe just push it a little bit higher. It's going to help you out. The more you play slide, the lower your action can be. And again, as I said before, if you are running out of saddles, don't forget you can get taller screws to even bump that up a little bit. There should be two types of different screws, but you probably know more about that than I do. But that's really how I set my action. I do it totally by feel. I don't really care what the measurement is, because it's down to my own technique. But the main thing is that G string. Get that G string right, and then everything else will fall into place. Obviously, don't play it with distortion, but play it. So there's still a bit, there's still some rattling there, so I can come up a little bit higher on that still, just to really make that G string poke out, so I can really get to it. And then your B and E strings, which are now A and D, tuned to A and D, you can obviously compensate with them, and also here. But make sure your low D is not hitting the top of that plate, otherwise it's an awful sound. So hopefully this has helped you out. Not a very good video, but anyway, hopefully it will help someone out there how to sort the action out in your Coodercaster. Goose signing out, take care guys.